Hey Mama, welcome to the podcast. My name is Jocelyn, the host of the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. And today we're going to have a real conversation, one that I have been thinking about for several nights. And it may sting a little, but hang on till the end because I promise it ends with great hope. This was pretty powerful when I ended up putting this together and editing it all. And I think that you will find strength, beauty, hope, and encouragement in my message today. Hi, I'm Jocelyn, fellow mom of 5 and host of the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast. I help pregnant women and mothers to find the positivity in their season of life through changing their thoughts to work for them and not against them. I help mothers find the small, doable steps in thought and action without making drastic changes to their everyday mom life. And I can help you. Let's find positivity during our pregnancies and in our motherhood together. Thanks for joining. Modern conveniences are such a blessing. In fact, just the other day, I was telling my husband how grateful I am for my recipe app. I have an app that I bought years ago called Paprika, where I am able to download recipes online, and it takes out all the ads, and it's just so nice. And I was telling him how nice some of these modern conveniences are. And we are very blessed to have a lot of these modern conveniences. So blessed. I wouldn't trade it. But at the same time, some of these modern conveniences and instant gratifications have made pregnancy a little bit harder than it has to be. But God can help us and help you to realize that you are stronger than you think. I think you're going to really like this conversation today, and it'll give you some thought-provoking things to think about. We kind of live in the day of the 2-second answer. You're hot, blast the AC. You're cold, turn up the heater. You're hungry, DoorDash arrives before you finish typing. You're bored, scroll until the dopamine hits. There is a fix for everything and anything. There's an app, there's a pill, there's a filter, a same-day delivery. Our nervous systems have been trained to expect relief before the discomfort even has time to register. And these things are nice. The other day, I was even just thinking about hot water. I am so glad I live in a day of hot water. But let's turn to pregnancy now. It's slow. It's unpredictable. It is uncomfortable by design. Your hormones surge. Your organs shift. Your feet swell. Your sleep disappears. Your emotions roller coaster. And there's no way to skip ahead. There's not a skip ahead button or fast forward. It comes with a lot of undesirable symptoms and side effects. And one thing that has changed over time with these modern conveniences is our tolerance for doing hard things has somewhat collapsed. Sometimes during the first trimester, nausea hits, and instead of our minds thinking this too shall pass, we kind of think, why can't I just take something to stop this completely? And I'm only saying this because I had that exact thought. My 4th pregnancy, the sickness was really hard. Mentally, physically, it was one of the hardest sicknesses I have gone through, and they do make stuff that can stop it. It does come with its risks though. So do your research. And during that pregnancy, I did take a prescription pill for a few weeks that I had not in any other pregnancy. Nonetheless, I'm not here to talk about that. I've done a whole other episode on that. In fact, during my 5th pregnancy, I kind of changed my mindset again, refocused, especially when it came to the nausea. And I talk about all the pills I have taken in that episode. So So that is the most recent one. I will put that in the show notes if that interests you, especially if you're in that first trimester and you're feeling those annoying, frustrating sicknesses. It is really hard. In a way, with some of these things that make life so much easier, we don't have to wait for food, we don't have to wait for hot water. We sometimes believe that hard can equal broken, or that waiting can equal failure. But this is a season, and this is a long season. 9 months is a very long time, and when you are feeling sick, it can feel even longer. So we are going to reflect a little bit about the women who came before us, and specifically some of the women in the Bible. They walked dusty roads while pregnant. They worked in fields. They gave birth in tents, in stables, in the middle of exile. Mary rode a donkey at 9 months and then laid her newborn in a feeding trough. They had some grit and quiet knowledge that this is what bodies were made to do. They weren't superwomen. They were ordinary women who had never been taught that comfort was a birthright. They expected hard things. So when the hard things came, they didn't fall apart. They leaned in. We, on the other hand, have sometimes inadvertently been taught the opposite. Our culture whispers the lie, you deserve ease. If it's hard, something's wrong with you. So when pregnancy feels hard, which is it's supposed to, we panic. We Google symptoms at 2 a.m. We compare our bump to filtered celebrity bumps. We dread the delivery because we are worried about what it will encompass, what it will be like, and wondering if we are going to be able to do it. Sometimes, and in some ways, instant gratification has quietly stolen our endurance muscles. But here's the good news, the part I want you to take and to hold into your heart this week. The same God who sustained those women of old is still on the throne, and He is there to help comfort you. He never promised that pregnancy would be easy. He promised that He would be with you in it. In Isaiah 41:10 it says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That verse wasn't written for women who already felt strong. It was written for women who felt exactly like you might right now. Tired, nauseous, scared, overwhelmed, and wondering how you're going to make it through another day of this. God didn't ask you, He didn't ask us as women to do this alone. He invites us to do the hardest thing that modern women can do. That is to surrender to the illusion of control and let Him carry what you cannot. It looks practical, by the way. So here is what it can look like to letting God help. It looks like praying through the nausea instead of doom scrolling for miracle cures. I'm a big fan of putting down your phone and not scrolling because it does not help. It usually makes things worse. It looks like asking your church family or friends or close family members for meals and childcare instead of pretending that you're fine. It looks like turning off the highlight reels and opening your Bibles to the stories of Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Hannah, Elizabeth, and Mary, women who waited years, suffered loss, and still carried the promise. It looks like telling your body, I trust the designer more than the discomfort. You were made for hard things. Your body is literally built to grow another human being. Your pelvis was designed to open. Your uterus was engineered to contract with a power that can push a 7-pound baby into the world. Your brain releases oxytocin, that bonds you to that child in a way no dopamine hit from your phone ever could. You have the same blood, the same bones, the same image of God DNA as the women who crossed the oceans in wooden ships, who birthed babies by candlelight, who buried some and raised the rest, and still sang hymns on Sunday. The only difference? They knew they couldn't outsource the hard, so they leaned into it. You can too, Mama. You can. You do not have to feel strong to be strong. Strength is not a feeling, and this is really important, and I want you to choose to dwell on this. I hope if you take anything from this episode, it is this. Strength is not a feeling, it's a decision to keep going. It is a decision to keep going when everything in you wants to quit, and to keep going with God instead of without Him. Every wave of nausea, every sleepless night, every stretch mark, every Braxton Hicks, every fear that whispers, "You're not enough," these are not punishments. These are invitations to lean on the one who is. And on the other side of this is not just a baby, which the baby is miraculous and amazing and such a beautiful blessing. But on the other side is a woman who discovers that she is capable more than she has ever imagined. Excuse me. A mother who knows what endurance feels like in her marrow. A daughter of a king who can look at her children in the eye one day and say, "I did hard things with Jesus, and so can you." So if you're pregnant right now, and I imagine that listening to this episode you probably are, and if you're struggling, good. That means you're doing it right. If you're scared, tell Him. He's not surprised. If you're exhausted, ask for help and keep showing up. If you feel weak, declare truth anyways. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it's a decision. You are not less than the women of old. You are their heir. The same God who walks with them walks with you, and He hasn't changed. The culture has, but you don't have to bow to it. You can choose endurance. You can choose faith. And you can choose to do the hard thing and watch God turn it into glory. You've got this. Not because you're Superwoman, but because God, who created life inside you, is the same God who will carry you through every single minute of it. And if you are seeking answers to something you're dealing with, He can help you find it. If this episode hit home for you, would you do 3 things for me? First, share it with a pregnant friend who needs to hear that she's not alone. Second, drop a prayer request in my email at positivityinpregnancy@gmail.com. I read every single one, every single email I get, and I respond to all of them. At least thus far I've been able to do that. And I pray for you by name. And the third thing is check out my website. It is positivityinpregnancy.com, and there are so many positive resources to help you through. I have many videos that I have filmed during pregnancies. Those have come together through God's promptings and encouragings, and they help. I know they help because I use them in my 5th pregnancy, and if your mindset is struggling, it can help you more to have these positive thoughts, to remind you that you are strong enough and that you don't have to bow to the instant gratification and that you can get through this pregnancy. You are seen. You are strong, and you are never, ever alone. Until next time, keep doing the hard and holy things. God is with you in this pregnancy. Thank you for being a part of the Positivity in Pregnancy and Motherhood podcast, for listening, for sharing, and most of all, for applying these tools into your own life to improve your own happiness so that you can find your own better thoughts and becoming the mother that you desire to be through taking small steps in thought and action to reach your goals. If you are a mother who has an inner desire to enjoy motherhood and pregnancy better, but you are having difficulty figuring it out, I can help you. Thanks for joining. Reach out, let's connect, and let's see you move forward in your motherhood. My name is Jocelyn, and I thank you for listening. Until next time. So again, I'm adding another blurb at the end of this podcast. I have been podcasting for a lot of years now, and over time I have gotten better at it. But this episode I have been thinking about for a few days, and then I did use an AI to help me with some of the wording. But then I didn't like what it did with it, so I had to go back through and edit it. Nonetheless, I did use a little bit of AI wording in this episode, and I like to know when people do that. What are your thoughts on that? Does it bug you when people use AI, or does it not really bug you? Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, if that is a something you feel strongly about one way or the other. My email is in the show notes, positivityinpregnancy@gmail.com. I have a Facebook page, Pregnancy is Hard. You can contact me through any of those, and let me know what you think about that. I'm a little mixed still, in ways I find it helpful, in ways I feel like it's just, I don't know, not quite as genuine maybe? I don't know if that's the word though. Anyway, still trying to decide what I feel about using AI first as a podcaster, and then as a consumer as well, like my thoughts on it both ways. I'm undecided, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Anyways, I just did want to tell you that, and we will chat again next week.